Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bucket List featuring Ethan, Lydia, and your true host, Lucas Moses. Welcome to the Bucket List, and today we're talking about bucket list locations where people would like to stay the most, why they would like to stay there. And first, I'm going to ask, where would you like to stay, Lydia?
Hawaii.
What about you, Ethan?
I'd also like to go to Hawaii, but I'd also like the Bahamas.
What about you, Lucas?
I would rather go to the Keys, Florida. I've never been to the Keys before.
What would you like to go there for?
I really think it's closer to home, and also I like Florida, and apparently they got clear water down there.
What about you, Lydia? Why would you want to go to Hawaii?
I just think it's a pretty place.
What about you, Ethan?
I like Hawaii. It looks pretty cool. But I also like the Bahamas. I just like being away from just where people usually go.
Well, there's a lot of people that usually go to Hawaii.
Yeah, just away from all the partiers. That's what I'd like to do. So, Lucas, what would you like to do in the Keys of Florida?
I would like to walk down on the beach.
What about you, Lydia?
I want to visit the beach in Hawaii and I also want to go look at all the beautiful things that are in Hawaii.
I would also like to view all the tourist attractions and just like the terrain of just the way it is up there in the Bahamas or Hawaii, whichever one. But overall, I would just like to see what it's like and how it's different from where we are today. So, Lucas, where would you like to stay in the Keys of Florida? Would you like to stay in a condo or Airbnb, hotel? Where would you like to stay there?
I would like to stay in like a presidential kind of suite, like in one of the hotels.
Just like a higher up room?
Yeah, one of the higher up rooms, kind of like big and spacious.
Yeah,
and
just so you're away from everybody.
yeah, kind of
Have a good experience.
But still be able to like walk onto the beach and enjoy it. Like also have like a pool down. There's one place I remember going that had like a lazy river. I remember that was like so fun.
What about you, Lydia?
Same for me because a trip to Hawaii can be expensive, so a hotel or like a big hotel would be fine for me.
If I went to the Bahamas, I'd probably like to stay in an Airbnb, probably with my family, and just so you can it'll just be, you don't have to deal with all the other people, and you can just kind of do as you please.
So Lydia, what food would you eat in Hawaii?
I would like to eat like tradition foods that they like to eat, like with their culture and stuff.
What about you, Ethan?
I like to eat. Well, since I'd be at the beach, I like to eat a bunch of lobster and crab. I like crab, shrimp, just like some of their catches of the day that you would be able to get at other places, such as like Florida or like Myrtle Beach or around here. Just really fresh seafood that other places may not have. But I'd also like to have steak and stuff like that. What about you, Lucas?
I always like surf and turf from seafood restaurants, so I definitely get a surf and turf from a place down in the Keys.
What is surf and turf?
It's where you have like steak. Some places do like chicken, but steak
It's
and
like
like
a
lobster.
combination.
Yeah, so like surf meaning the ocean, like turf meaning the grass.
Just like a mix of everything that's like just.
Yeah, like a mix of what's like a cow and a lobster.
You had surf and turf, Lydia?
No, I have never had that.
You heard of it before?
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of it, but I've just like maybe once before, but I didn't know what it was. But it sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
What time of year would you all like to go visit your places?
I probably like to go like a little after winter, springtime, I guess, just so it ain't extremely hot and won't be as many people because people's kids are in school and stuff like that. But just it wouldn't be too hot, it wouldn't be too cold. Just a good time to go. What about you, Lucas?
I would say near like the beginning of May, maybe like the end of April, because that time it's like it's still warm in most places, but it's not extremely hot. Yeah,
Yeah, and also ain't crowded then.
yeah, like crowd, because school is still going in some areas, and spring break is usually already over with.
I would like to go either like during fall break or spring break because it's not too hot, but it's not too cold. But in Hawaii, it's usually warm, so really any time of the year.
What age would you guys like to go? Like, just when you're older, or like soon, or what?
Probably when I'm in like college.
What you would do?
Yeah, probably about when I'm like either graduating college or in college.
I'd like to go, I guess, like once I'm out of high school, but I'd also like to go like with once I'm older and retired and just have just time to relax. But who would you guys go with?
Either my family or my friends.
I feel like I'd have to go with my friends.
I'd like to go just like maybe one year I can do my family, next trip I can do my friends, just whatever comes about and whoever's open. Have you all ever been to any of these places like the Keys of Florida or the Hawaii or like on a trip like such as a cruise or what?
I've been close. I know that. I've been close to that area, but I've never been like in that area.
I've been to the Bahamas on like a cruise a few times, and I've loved it every single time. But I've never been to Hawaii.
Have you ever thought about going to Hawaii?
Yes.
I've been on the Bahamas. I've been to the Bahamas on a cruise just many years ago, but I'd like to go again just to get the like full experience and because I don't really remember much of it, but I feel like it'd be pretty fun. Do you guys know what the like time zones? Do you know if the time zone is different in Florida or what?
In some parts, like in the panhandle of Florida, it is, but it's nearly the same as Kentucky.
You know what the time difference is in Hawaii, would you?
I think it's like a 6 hour difference. Like, they're probably asleep right now, but we're at school.
I think the Bahamas like a 6-7 hour difference, like something like that.
Yeah. How different do you think it would be from like Kentucky to the places you want to travel?
It'd be this. It'd be a little bit like. It'd be different, of course, because of the beaches and stuff. But I feel like it wouldn't be that much of a change.
I feel like since I mean the Bahamas and Hawaii, I mean they have mountains and stuff which we have right now, but it'd just be like a complete different like atmosphere. I think so, and that's one thing that would make it cool. What about you, Lydia?
I think it'd be different because of the weather. It's usually the same.
What about the volcanoes?
Well, there's no volcanoes here, so that would be different. How crowded do you all think it will be when you choose to go?
I think it'll be. I don't think it'll be that crowded because one, I mean, you gotta have most people go on a cruise ship to the Bahamas, and usually there's not that many people like that can. There's a lot of people that can travel on a cruise ship, but that's not going to be like millions of people, and it ain't going to be like crowded where you can't walk around or do what you want to do.
I think it would be less crowded because I would go during weekdays. It would be a little bit more crowded because of like local people around that area.
I don't think Hawaii will be crowded. I mean, you'll have the people that live there, but not many people travel there because of the cost of it. So,
What do you guys think of the expenses would be like? Just normal like activities. What do you think the price would be? Do you think it'd be more or less or what?
I think it will be more, just because it's an expensive place to go.
I really don't think the Keys is that expensive. It's just like the rest of Florida.
I think it'd be a pretty high price difference just because it's a tourist attraction and they have to make money somehow. They're not like these big cities like New York and stuff. They have to make money and provide for their community.
The flight, I feel like, to Hawaii will be more expensive than once you get there, and the hotel. I feel like the flight and the hotel will be,
Because you have to take multiple flights.
yes, because it's such a long flight.
Yeah, and it's like 12 hours. And from what I've heard, once you take off on a flight and you land, it's the same time as when you left off.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like you're just really jet lagged.
I wouldn't take a flight down to Florida. I feel like I've always drove down to Florida.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't be too bad of a drive, but it'd still be pretty lengthy. Just, I think driving would be pretty fun down to just to Florida because you see all these different places.
Do you think you would like have to stop and sleep overnight before you drove
If
over? Do
you
you think
leave
you
at like a certain time, if you leave at like 6 in the morning, then yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to, like, if I drove to Florida or something, I'd drive halfway, stay somewhere, and then drive the next morning over there. That's what I'd personally do.
See, I'd wake up at like 6 or 7 o'clock just to get up and get there at like 5.
Do y'all prefer driving through the night or driving like through the day?
Depends. If it's like through a city, I'd rather like go through a city during the night, but in daytime, I feel like driving in the middle of nowhere is better.
I feel like if you left during the evening, it'd be fun. Like while you're going down there, it'd be all right. But if you're coming back, then I'd say probably leave in the morning. And it wouldn't be that bad of a drive just because it's not going to be too bright, but it won't be like too bad of a drive, and there shouldn't be many people out on the roads.
I prefer driving at night just because there's usually not a lot of people traveling and you can get there faster because there's not as many people.
Driving at night is very risky though.
Yeah.